It is exactly 10 p.m. in the studios of UBC TV. Hello there and welcome to News Tonight. First though, let's have a look at what's making headlines at this hour. In our news tonight, President Yoweri Museveni meets South Sudan President Salva Kiir. Internal Affairs Minister clears police to record statement from Minister Aida Nantaba. Also in the world, cross-party talks enter second day, and as far as Brexit is concerned. And in sports, Vipers FC, KCC FC clash ends into a 1-1 draw. Hello there and welcome once again. On sign language is Mugalu Mohammed and I am Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma. President Yoweri Museveni has met with South Sudan counterpart Salva Kiir at State House Entebbe. President Kiir, who was accompanied by several high-ranking officials of his government, was in Uganda for a one-day working visit at the invitation of President Museveni. In a bilateral meeting, President Kiir briefed his host on the progress of implementation of the peace agreement, indicating that it was on course with the exception of a few issues. He observed there was disagreement over some state and district boundaries. In response, President Yoweri Museveni advised that the leaders should not be consumed by fights over boundaries. Instead, they should channel their efforts towards improving their people's welfare. He, however, added that if they must, it would be best to follow the colonial boundaries for both internal and interstate demarcations in order to ensure security. In August 2018, South Sudan warring parties signed an agreement in Khartoum, Sudan, to end 4 years of hostility and fighting. President Kiir signed on behalf of SPLM, while Riek Machar signed on behalf of the rebel groups. Meanwhile, President Yoweri Museveni has today received a message from President Theodore Obiang Nguema Basongo of Equatorial Guinea. A special envoy of President Obiang Nguema Basongo, Mr. Juan Antonio Bibang Nchuchuma, who is also the Minister for External Security, delivered the message today to President Museveni at State House Entebbe. President Museveni and the envoy also discussed matters of mutual interest between Uganda and Equatorial Guinea. Meanwhile, President Yoweri Museveni has revealed plans by the government to establish a primary and a secondary school in every Uganda People's Defense Forces UPDF barracks in the country to enable children of soldiers access free education. General Museveni, who is also the Commander-in-Chief of the Uganda Armed Forces, was interfacing with officers and men of Masindi Field Artillery Division in Masindi District. Take a look.
Danger was to fail to define the mission of independence and to define the principles that should guide that independence. So, but this was all because of ideology, because we were able to separate our fight against Amin and his people who are making mistakes from the people. If we had to confuse them like the UPC was doing, that problem would never have ended. The UPC, we fought with them, but we never mixed their mistakes with the people. Why? Because of the ideology of that campus, the ideological campus. So this is not just a story. it is something that's very, very crucial. When it comes to army building, one of the problems of Uganda army after independence was sectarianism. I produce milk. Production of milk has now gone up. It is now 2.7 billion liters, but Ugandans are drinking only 800 million liters. Therefore, there's already a surplus of 1.7 billion liters. So where will all these things be sold? Uganda, soko ya Uganda imetusaidia. The Uganda market has helped us, but it's not enough. We must go beyond Uganda and think about Africa. That's how we can be prosperous.
President Yoweri Museveni addressing soldiers there, and that is part of his tour of barracks across the country. Now, the State Minister for Information and Communication Technology, Ida Nantaba, is yet to record a statement with police about the murder of Ronald Sebulime. Police spokesperson Fred Enanga says the Criminal Investigations Directorate, headed by Grace Akulo, is now under directive to obtain the statement from Nantaba, as we hear in this report.
Police seem to have secured directive from Minister for Internal Affairs to obtain a statement from the Minister of State for Information and Communication Technology, Ida Nantaba. Securing the statement had apparently become hard after Nantaba circulated a written letter indicating to have been under directive not to leave her residence. Nantaba is required to make a statement relating to circumstances leading to the murder of a native of Mubende district, Ronald Sebulime.
Minister of State for Internal Affairs. And I think yesterday or the other day he informed the public that the arrangements on how to record the statement and the guidance he was going to give to the Director of Criminal Investigations. So I'll simply let you know when the statement has been recorded, and the goodwill is actually there.
Without a statement, nevertheless, the file relating to the murder, for which police have since indicted and arrested Corporal Geoffrey Bagonza, Corporal Sally Oscar, and the suspected shooter, Ronald Opira, has been forwarded to the Director of Public Prosecution.
In this case of the murder is not direct. So you're not taking her as a suspect, you're not taking her as what. So you leave it for the DPP to peruse and then guide us on who to charge and which other offences, especially for these other 3 crew members. So the file is with DPP.
Sebulime was killed along Kayunga Mkono Road following an alleged suspicion of the intent to assassinate State Minister for ICT Ida Nantaba, also Kayunga Member of Parliament. Onyanja Jackson, UBC TV.
Now, the Democratic Party, DP, has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Social Democratic Party, People's Progressive Party, and the Truth and Justice Platform. Now, the pact will unite all scattered pressure groups under one DP umbrella, besides increasing DP representation in Parliament. At the event at Chadondo, East Member of Parliament Robert Chagulanyi took a swipe at FDC's Dr. Kizza Besigye, who has in the recent past been negative about the idea of having one sole opposition candidate.
We have repositioned the Democratic Party. There is no longer any question that should arise to which DP do you belong. It is one DP, united under one leadership. But above all, we have a new frontier, which we have called the DP bloc. We are putting a signature on a new spirit. Today we can say DP has been born again. Whoever brings the old issues, tell them in simple terms, awo twavaawo. We left that place long ago. Entalo tezikyasula wano.
This event, this day, this signing of the memorandum, which is we are all expecting any time, is a guarantee I'll go to my grave a very happy man.
We have to make people believe that we actually believe in what we tell them. Don't talk about democracy and stand 4 times and then on the 5th time you tell people democracy doesn't work. We believe it works. I will assert that actually democracy works. Okay? And anybody that despises democracy is despising the people of Uganda. Speaking on behalf of the ghetto people, for us there's nothing that we have apart from ourselves, apart from our numbers.
ODPA too. ODPA too. Na people power. Tutasonga mbele. Na DPA too. DPI.
Now, court at Uganda Road has set the 18th of April 2019 the date for hearing bail application for city businessman Thaddeus Zikusoka. Now, Zikusoka is charged alongside South Sudanese self-styled young tycoon Lawrence Lual Yor Malong Jr. and one other for obtaining money by false pretense. The trio defrauded 2 South Africans of $1.9 million with promises of delivering them gold. Let's get more in this report.
47-year-old businessman Thaddeus Zikusoka will spend another 2 weeks at Luzira prison before his bail application is heard. Zikusoka had applied for bail through his lawyer, Fred Erisata, only for prosecution to ask for a 2 weeks adjournment. Led by Kintho Patricia, prosecution asked for a fortnight for a comprehensive study of bail application documents. Presiding Principal Grade 1 Magistrate Robert Mkanza has set 18th April 2019 for bail application hearing. Zikusoka is charged alongside South Sudanese self-proclaimed young tycoon Lawrence Lual Yor Malong and Mike Lotter, a Congolese national. They are accused of conspiring to defraud South African nationals of $1.9 million to sell them gold. Thaddeus Zikusoka's lawyer, Fred Erisata, produced 3 sureties to secure his client's release, but prosecution requested 2 weeks to study bail application documents. Malong requested for his phone to enable him communicate back home in South Sudan about his predicament. He claimed he couldn't secure a lawyer without a phone, a request he was asked to present in writing.
My name is Lawrence Malong Yor, Lawrence Malong Yor Jr., aka Young Tycoon.
Malong, a businessman, is also a socialite known for posting photographs of him lying on the bed full of dollars. He was first arrested by the Internal Security Organization operatives in Uganda in November 2018. This was in regard to investigations that linked him to gold scams in which several foreigners had lost billions of shillings.
They only look at my wickedness part of mine, that Lawrence Malong Yor Jr. like to show off his wealthy and in social media and all these things. You know, why only you look at my wickedness part?
He and co-accused were first arraigned before the Magistrates Court at Uganda Road, presided over by Miss Joan Katie Achar in late March. They were read charges of obtaining money by false pretense, which they denied and remanded till 4th April 2019. The hearing of the case resumes on 18th April 2019. Henry Okurut, UBC.
Thanks, Henry, for that report there. Now on to land matters, where residents of Mwelo in Tororo district will regain their surface rights on land following the illegal purchase of the contested land by Hima Cement through Optima Mines and Minerals Limited. Now, before the commission, the managing director, Hima Cement, George Nicholas, said they are ready to lose what they invested to acquire the contested land for the residents to reoccupy their land.
The Commission of Inquiry into Land Matters will meet stakeholders of Hima Cement in Camera, together with the Mwelo community, to resettle the displaced people on Mwelo Rock in Tororo district. This follows the manner in which Hima Cement, through its agent, evicted over 1,000 families.
This is our commitment today. We want to make sure that the people who were on this land before this process started continue to be on their land with no any impact in the future. As far as I know, most of them, if not all of them, are back on their land already and are back to a normal way of living. So we want to make sure that this is confirmed, proved, and everybody goes back away with no consequences.
Evidence provided to the Commission showed that Hima Cement paid landowners forcefully to vacate their ancestral land.
What we are being told here is that this young man just held these people, old people, took them to Mbare, opened for them accounts there, abandoned them there. No one knows where they go next.
I'm not regretting anything. I was not here personally. I just understand. I just take act of what was done, and we try to fix it.
The Commission asked why Hima Cement employed Optima Mines and Minerals Limited as agents.
We paid an agent upfront money, 600 million shilling, to manage that process and to take care of all the stakeholder engagement.
There have been great social impacts, and I think it's a good idea that you're dropping the agents, because as a corporate citizen in a community, the people need to see your face and need to feel, the way you operate. The image in Mwelo is not a very good one.
Hima Cement was faulted for engaging agents and to explain how they monitor compliance.
What exactly is happening to these companies out there, and what is happening to the community, and what is happening to these agents?
The owner of Optima Mine used to be a contractor of Hima.
It was discovered that Optima Mines misinformed the unsuspecting people of Mwelo that they would get a lease of 21 weeks instead of the 21 years. Judge Nicholas told commissioners how land ownership in Uganda has become a problem, and they are to invest in Kenya.
If the Uganda investment is not attractive enough, or if it's too complicated to get it done, then maybe Kenya or Zimbabwe, I don't know, will have it, and they'll be very happy to have it.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Now, the civil society has sued government over the proposed Lubowa International Specialized Hospital. And as we hear in the following report, they want Constitutional Court to nullify the whole project.
The International Specialized Hospital saga has caused controversy, with the civil society organization sued government of Uganda in the Constitutional Court. They are seeking a nullification of all agreements that government entered before approval by Parliament. They also claim that the practice is illegal and inconsistent with the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda.
For the approval of promissory notes by Parliament was outside the ambit of the Constitution. The Constitution lays down particular processes that need to be followed, and that's what ISA is standing for today. That's why we've come to the Constitutional Court to petition the court to find that these acts that were done by the ministries, by Parliament, were null and void.
Civil society also emphasizes that the process lacked transparency and participation of the citizens, who will shoulder the financial implication of the loan obligations.
Despite the fact that agreements were made prior to seeking Parliament approval, we also have a constitution that safeguards a number of rights, including the right to participation, the rights to health. It is and really requires that participation is supposed to happen before all certain projects do take place. So as civil society, we've been particularly concerned about what this has transpired. We believe that when there are large projects of this nature, projects which are going to substantially impact on the taxpayer, projects that are going to substantially impact on the right to health, it's very important that the law is followed and that participation of the populace takes place.
The new specialized hospital is to be constructed as a joint venture between Finance Local Construction Limited. On 12th March 2019, Parliament of Uganda approved promissory notes of over 1.3 trillion shillings as a loan to investor to construct Lubowa International Specialist Hospital. Abdunasili Luwama for UBC News.
Now to matters pertaining to hygiene, public primary schools in Kampala have got a solution how to maintain good hygiene in toilet facilities. While launching the school sanitation and hygiene contest, the acting executive director KCCA, Engineer Andrew Kitaka, said the initiative will improve sanitation and learning outcomes.
Schools and homesteads strive to maintain good hygiene for their toilet and washroom facilities to prevent disease. However, primary schools, both private and public, in Kampala have inadequate facilities compared to the population of pupils. In government-aided Kampala schools under KCCA, the number of stances per pupil is 1 to 58, from the 116 pupils to 1 stance in 2011. At Nakasero Primary School, cleaners get overwhelmed by the numbers of pupils.
Struggling a bit with the Shiloh, which is overwhelmed because of too much droppings of the bottle tops, the blessed juice sockets. That's a big challenge to her.
KCCA and GIZ, German Corporation, have organized the toilet making grades hygiene and sanitation contest to improve and keep sanitation facilities and washrooms clean.
The goal of this contest is to have all stakeholders understand their roles and collaborate in a coordinated approach to develop and implement ideas that improve operation and maintenance of water, sanitation and hygiene facilities in all our schools, the 79 primary schools.
GIZ is carrying out this contest alongside the water sanitation and hygiene project that has been in schools for 1.5 years. The technical advisor GIZ, Christian Riek, says teachers and pupils need to discuss how to keep the facilities clean.
Head teachers, everyone that is involved in keeping toilets clean and running them, operating them. And now we are looking very much forward to see what kind of innovations, what kind of practical solutions they have come up in each of the schools, and rightly so. We want to award or help to award now the best.
The Mayor, Nakawa Division, Ronald Balimwezo Nsubuga, said sanitation in public schools has improved by 80% through WASH.
And some years back, we went to some of these toilets. We used to see feces on the walls. We used to see feces on the floors. But now, if you went there, you will appreciate it. In fact, there are some schools where we went and the people are eating food close to the toilet.
As KCCA plans to award the winning 5 schools early next month, administrators have intensified supervision and monitoring of facilities. I'm Nafka Farida.
In the studios of UBC TV, we'll now take a short break, but we'll return with business news. Stay with us.
Every dream has a challenging journey. Ours began in 1998 with a mission to drive the development of a robust communications sector in Uganda. We created structures to champion the dream. We've evolved, made discoveries, supported great minds, empowered Ugandans, and fostered a vibrant culture, enabling communication for all. Down the years, we've created memories and networks, uniting generations and building great partnerships. Together, we can go even further. UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements. The passion, the love, the energy. Hello, Uganda. as we celebrate Kabaka Ronald Mwenda Mutebi's 64th birthday this year. Come, run to fight against sickle cell disease. All roads will lead to Lubiri for the annual Kabaka Birthday Run, Sunday, 7th April 2019 at 7 a.m. Register today for only 10,000 Uganda shillings using Airtel Money. Dial *185#. Select payments. Select Kabaka Run. Enter amount, enter reference, Kabaka Run, and PIN to complete the payment. You can also register at Bulangi Mengo, New Vision Head Office, Airtel Shop New Park, Chagwe Road, Airtel Shop Ben Chwanuka Street, ShopRite Building, and Airtel Shop Tobani Building. Together, we continue to create awareness and be a part of the fight against sickle cell. Kabaka Birthday Run 2019, proudly sponsored by Events Warehouse, Mad Advertising, Post Bank Uganda, Renzori, and Airtel, the smartphone network. Airtel is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
Brought to you by Stack Online has made it possible. Log on to www.stackonlinetradeshow.com or download our app from Google Play Store or Apple Store. Seek, find, trade with Stack Online.
Welcome back, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Some business news now, and government has resolved to create a neutral account where traders renting on claimed buildings of Kwalisel Arcade, Nabukera and Ujambo Plaza will deposit rent fees until wrangles are resolved. State Minister for Kampala, Bena Namugwanya, directed the landlord who sealed traders' shops to let police take control of the security at the claimed building to allow traders access their shops as they await court judgment.
Government has resolved to create a neutral account where Kwalisel Bus Terminal Shopping Center traders will deposit rent until the wrangles of property ownership are resolved. It follows traders' protest against landlord Drake Lubega selling off shops due to failure to pay rent.
Government, through the Attorney General's office, shall negotiate a modality of opening up an escrow account where all disputed or accruing rent for the period after February 29th shall be paid and held therein until the final case is determined by courts of law.
Government has instructed the police to deploy while other security agencies remain and allow traders access their shops.
The deployment of police and other security agencies shall remain in force and in and around the disputed property to keep law and order until the situation becomes calm and normal. 2, police is also directed to ensure that the premises are accessible and calm and that there is no unwarranted disruption of business operations.
The minister says government is finalizing the law that harmonizes tenants and landlords.
The executive already requested Parliament to fast track that bill such that we get a law which regulates the relationship between the tenants and the landlords.
Police Commander Kampala Metropolitan Moses Kafel assured the traders security as they return to business.
All means at our disposal to ensure we continue with the security and the peace that we have in Kampala. This is an isolated incident that cannot disrupt the peace that we have.
3 businessmen, Drake Lubega, Manisulumat of Akayanga, and the family of the fallen Muhanji claim ownership of these buildings on different grounds. Abdu Naseli Lubama, UBC News.
To Buvuma Islands, where Buvuma Resident District Commissioner Agnes Navidye has summoned fishing folk leaders for an emergency meeting. Now, it follows the fishermen's strike to protest low fish prices, which has entered day 5. The meeting, held at Mukono Resort Hotel, was attended by representatives of Buvuma boat owners, UPDF Fish Protection Force personnel, district leaders, members of the Association of Fishers and Lake Users of Uganda, and members of Parliament of the Island District. Emerging issues included unfair taxation, which fishermen say exceeds the stipulated 1% of profits. Former Member of Parliament Robert Migade Ndugwa seemed to fuel the strike further by advising the fishermen not to reverse their decision. But the RDC, Agnes Nabiri, defended government's position on the matter. Meanwhile, government has launched a 5-year project to empower women and contribute to the eradication of poverty in Karamoja and West Nile regions of Uganda. The State Minister for Northern Uganda, Grace Kuyuchwinyi, pledged government commitment to empower women, and this project that is supported by FAO and SIDA will support disadvantaged women and youth, including refugees. Details in this report.
Challenge, where rural women have limited access to critical productive resources, inputs including agricultural credit, which hinders its progress. But the new climate resilience livelihood opportunities for women economic empowerment in Karamoja and West Nile regions will strengthen gender responsive and climate change resilience of rural women populations.
So this project has come timely for watershed restoration in this area.
Food and Agriculture Organization targets about 250 farmer groups, reaching 52,500 people as direct beneficiaries. 6 out of every 10 beneficiaries will be women and girls.
So the work that we have to do at the local level, at the family, at the house level, is to identify what are the opportunities that exist, develop the skills that they need to ensure that they continue to increase the production, and ensure that they produce all the agricultural goods that is possible in this area in a very sustainable manner.
State Minister for Northern Uganda, Grace Kuyuchwinyi, explains the project's deliberate efforts to uplift the 9,000 households living below the poverty line in northern Uganda.
I wish the district local government would also stand up with a declaration and commitment to say we are this time committed more than ever before to change our situation.
The $9 million project is funded by the government of Sweden through the Swedish International Development Agency, SIDA.
On behalf of Sweden, I would like to reiterate our commitment to supporting Uganda through FAU.
West Nile and Karamoja sub-regions have peculiar challenges to rural development, while the refugee influx in West Nile makes it hard for households to sustain an agricultural-based livelihood. Joseph Bule, UBC, West Nile.
Welcome back, and now let's have a look at what's happening elsewhere in the world, and we specifically go to the UK, where talks between Conservative and Labour teams are taking place for a second day as they try to end the Brexit deadlock. Now, it follows discussions between Theresa May and Jeremy Corbyn on Wednesday, which were described as constructive. Shadow Brexit Secretary Sir Keir Starmer said the idea of a confirmatory referendum on any Brexit deal would be discussed. Now, members backed a bill which would force the Prime Minister to seek a new delay to Brexit. Peers are due to debate it later. Number 10 says the bill, passed by the Commons with a majority of 1 vote on Wednesday, would deny the Prime Minister the power to agree a deal with European Union leaders on April the 10th, 2 days before exit, as members of Parliament would have to agree to any new Brexit date.
To Britain's opposition to ask for their help in drawing up a compromise that might finally get enough votes to begin the process of the UK's divorce from the EU. So the Prime Minister Theresa May meeting the leader of the opposition, Jeremy Corbyn, for talks on Brexit. And this is difficult territory for the Prime Minister.
Sports news now, and let's begin with football, where Kampala City Council KCCA Football Club chances of winning the Uganda Premier League with a clear point difference have been reduced, having conceded against Kitende-based side and defending champions Vipers Football Club in a game that ended 1-1 at StarTime Stadium in Lugogo. Brian Nkubi clinical strike gave the visitors Vipers FC a lead in the first half of the encounter, but KCCA FC revenged through a Mike Mutiaba's cross from outside the box into the back of the net during the second half of the clash, though KCCA FC proved stronger with shots on target but fought Vipers' defense on alert, thus denying the City Council boys to collect all the 3 points, but rather a share on one each.
Points lost, would have won with a goal margin about 5-3, because also Viper got chances, you see. But the bottom line, I think it was a good game. The lads of both teams tried to play some good football, and I think it was good advertisement for our league. Self-belief, you don't buy it anywhere, you see. So, but slow start, it happens. We are supposed to dominate from the word go. It's not easy. I'm educating these players. You must appreciate this. You know, the way you want to play football, the way you think football is played, needs clarity on how to play the game and how to understand the game. Not just putting around 11 players, running all over the field, doing nothing.
We have played, it was a good match, a tough one. Two teams fighting for the champions, one fighting to defend, one fighting to get it. So it was a tough match. Congratulations to the home team, they played well, they managed the game in the second half. We a little bit struggled in the second half. We tried to cope up with the situation, but at least getting 1 point from away from home, I say it's a plus to us. The gap is still there, 4 points, 5 games to go. It is anyone's. Though the team at the top has an advantage of 4 points, so it depends how they are going to react to the remaining matches, and how also we are going to react to the remaining matches.
And of course, after that clash there, KCCA FC leads the table with 53 points. Vipers in second has 49. Uganda Revenue Authority has 42 in third, while Mbarara City lies in fourth place with 41 points. Uganda national ladies cricket team is going through final paces ahead of a tri-nation friendly series against Kenya and Zimbabwe. Now, the series that start on Saturday are to help Uganda prepare for the global T20 qualifier due in Zimbabwe in May. Details follow in this report.
Uganda's national ladies cricket team is going through final paces ahead of a tri-nation friendly series. Kenya and Zimbabwe are the tourists for this series that the Ugandan girls are looking forward to as they prepare for the global T20 World Cup qualifier in Zimbabwe in May.
The series is going to help us be just a check of what we've been doing and how well we are progressing towards the qualifiers in May. It's going to be a reality check. We should be able to pull off some good play and grade ourselves accordingly.
Team Uganda is under Michael Ndiko and is a mixture of experience and youthful exuberance that includes Immaculate Nakisui, Stefan Nampina, Evelyn Aipo and Barbara Mukankusi. The Kenyan team will be skippered by Margaret Ngochi and coached by Lameko Nyango, while Zimbabwe has Mary Ann Mutsa as captain and Adam Chifo head coach.
For the Zimbabweans, I know that they're very aggressive in their batting. They will score runs in every possible way. That is their strength. They also have a good spinning attack, spin bowling attack, which we should be able to counter with the practice that we've had now. For the Kenyans, I think they're just very good fielders. They're a good fielding side, and we're also a good fielding side, but can also score runs that we can defend.
The teams will have a chance to train at the Logogo Oval on Friday before action gets underway on Saturday. Uganda opens this round-robin series against Kenya and will look for a great start that will steer it to the final on Wednesday, in which the top two contest the final. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
And finally, let's have a look at lawn tennis, where Uganda Sports Press Association will, during its belated 2018 awards gala on Friday, honor 61-year-old John Oduke with the legendary award. Oduke has served the sport of lawn tennis through the ranks, starting as a player and winning a couple of tournaments, which saw him win the crowned USPA Tennis Player of the Year on 3 occasions. He's also the record Uganda Open winner and was seed one for 20 years before retiring into coaching and administration, a period in which he has helped thousands of players improve. Oduke shared some experiences with our reporter.
First of all, I'm really honored and delighted to hear that news. I was really not saying that I was expecting it, but I think they made the right choice at the right time. The message to a youngster is that keep on sports, keep on doing sports. Sport is very healthy. Sport is very, very, very psychologically improving the mental part of yourself. And also sports keep you out of trouble, like moving around, doing nothing, disturbing other people. But once you're in sports, you are kept. And of course in sports, you learn a lot of discipline, because sports like tennis, you need a lot of discipline. So, and I think that is also another part which played to me by keeping me in close, so that I don't, derail my path. So my request to the young people is continue your study, but don't forget the sport. The parents should also try to see that they support their children where their talent lies.
John Oduke, former lawn tennis player, ending that report there. Let's have a look now at the weather prospects for tomorrow.
Some parts of the southern sector and some around the Lake Victoria Basin are receiving some light isolated showers. For most of the country, it has been sunny intervals. Well, we do expect this kind of weather to continue over the next few days. I'm St. Alex Kim from the Weather Center with the weather forecast. Tomorrow morning, we do expect some parts along the Lake Victoria Basin to have some chances of some light rainfall. Well, into the afternoon, we do expect the southern sector, which includes Kabale, Mbarara and Kasese, to have some chances of some light showers. For most of the country, it will be sunny intervals. Temperatures are expected to be equally high at 34 degrees Celsius in Soroti, whereas for Kabale Highlands, we're expecting 23 degrees Celsius. Elsewhere across the globe, we are forecasting for Doha as well as Johannesburg, thundering showers, but for Nairobi, sunny intervals at a daytime high of 29 degrees Celsius. That is it for today. For more information, log on to our website. I remain St. Alex Kim.
Thank you so much, Semper Alex Kim, for the weather focus for tomorrow, and of course parts of Kasese and Kabale tomorrow afternoon. Brave yourselves for some late showers. We've almost come to the end of this bulletin, but before we leave you, let's have a quick reminder of our top stories. In our news tonight, President Yoweri Museveni meets South Sudan President Salva Kiir. Internal Affairs Minister clears police to record statement from Minister Nantaba. Elsewhere in the world, cross-party talks enter second day in as far as Brexit is concerned. And in sports, Vipers FC, KCC FC clash ends into 1-1 draw. And that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for having kept us company, and we do hope that you enjoyed this bulletin. My name is Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma, and on sign language, it has been Mugalu Mohammed. We wish you a very blessed night and see you some other time. Ciao.
Was brought to you by